Could do it for a bit, but I'd prefer to have you with.
Yeah. I mean, I'd prefer to stick around too. So it's maybe better to start now than not at all.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm already recording, so let's just jump straight into
Oh yeah, me too. I've been recording for like the past 5 minutes.
it. Yeah, me too.
I guess that's just we've had a 5 minute intro and that's it. Or we could
Yeah,
just do like the Joe Rogan podcast where he just literally
he just literally starts talking about. I think I like that.
yeah, I mean it's quite natural, I guess. I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
Um but yeah, I mean we didn't do an intro last week. I don't know if you want to maybe just be like, welcome to the
Uh, Welcome to the. No, I can't. I can't. It feels unnatural. I
Yeah.
like it. I like it when we just go straight into it. I like that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so launch of next gen. I mean, it's basically here, but because we're in the UK, I'm pretty sure we have to wait an extra
Yeah,
week.
when when is the actual launch date of the two consoles? Do you know?
I'm fairly sure the PS5 release date is then.
The 19th.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's 12th November. It's Japan, Canada, New Zealand, South Korea. 18th November in UK and rest of world. Okay.
Because I guess that's a big thing, right? Like, and then I mean, not in the current climate, but dude,
Mm,
like, in in my adult life now, I think if there's another console generation being released or something big and it's getting released somewhere else in the world earlier, like by like a week, I'm gonna take a flight, man. I'm gonna buy it and then just come back.
that's true. The Xbox is releasing on 10th
Ooh, what in the UK? So
everywhere.
PS5 comes out
A week later.
everywhere. Wow. So what? I wonder what the difference is then for Sony doing the delay compared to Xbox, who are just doing it in the same day everywhere.
I read an interesting article about this actually. It was on kind of like Sony's expectations, and this probably plays a part into it. I think that they are expecting demand for the PS5 to be even higher than the demand for PS4. Is, as far as I know, one of the best-selling consoles of the time. So I'm pretty sure they're making sure that they're not running out of stock as much as they can, even though they've already been running out of stock like all over the
Really?
world. Yeah,
What, like they've just been pre-orders have just gone past what they've manufactured so far?
yeah. Apparently, it is incredibly difficult to find one to buy right now.
Wow.
I
So
haven't looked. I might try and have a quick.
I mean, they've kind of screwed themselves though, really, because don't forget at the end of this month as well, we have Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which think about it, because I mean, in the UK at the minute, obviously, as of the recording of this and probably on the release of this, we're still in lockdown. We're in the second round of lockdown now, and all the shops are shut, so you can't go to the midnight launch of, the PlayStation 5. You can't do that. So everybody's going to be ordering online. And what does that mean if they've got no stock? They're losing out on big money because everyone's going to be buying for Christmas. And that's the reason why they did the consoles in November.
It's probably a good point, actually. They're probably. 'Cause I just had a look. The PS5 is out of stock. Like, you search it in Google, basically nothing comes up. And then you search it on Amazon, it's out of stock. Anything that comes up is resellers. Is people selling it for 600. Okay? I can't stand resellers anymore, but different conversation. But they're probably looking to get as much stock as they can for the 19th, so that then Black Friday is supplied as well. Oh my god, Black Friday is going to be chaos. It's going to be actual
Yeah.
chaos.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do it online, though, because, I
Mm.
mean, it's not like you're bashing down the doors of Walmart or Target. Like, you're not having like a brawl in the streets. It's more just, you just go online. If it's in stock, it's in stock, man. Are they gonna have to have like virtual queues? Do you think is that the next thing for shopping online?
I mean, I think that would be a really good thing because right now, basically, the only thing you do is spam refresh on your browser. This is actually really interesting. When I was getting, I was trying to get a Switch girlfriend, and I was trying to get a special edition, Animal Crossing edition, and this was like right in the middle of lockdown. So the Switches were out of stock, and they were out of stock for maybe like 3 months. So I went on this website. I can't remember what it's called, but basically it tells you when it finds stock of a specific product. Like it sends you an email, sends you an alert on your browser, all that kind of stuff. And I had that open on my browser for like months. Like I was literally like just standing, sitting, waiting for back in stock. So if they
Standing there sitting.
yeah,
I was standing there sitting waiting.
I was just standing and sitting at the same time. Don't know if you guys know, but I have two bodies.
Or just like when you're half sat on the sofa. You're like kind of crouching but kind of sat on the sofa.
what do you? I had no idea.
What half like you never been on like a bench and there's like way too many people sat on the bench and someone's at the end and you're like half hanging off?
Oh no,
I'm not
I would just sit on the floor if that happened.
that's part of the sitting phase that Hector goes through. The standing phase is when he's waiting for the place on the bench, and the sitting phase is when he's given up and he's signed up for a notification to come through his browser to let him know that there's actually a seat available.
um,
But
but
I
yeah,
guess going with the Switch, what happened at the end of that? Like you got it fine, like the notification worked, and
no. Here's the worst part. I got a notification that it was in stock, right? And I don't know how many they had released for the stock, but I was on the website in a matter of maybe like 120 seconds, and
precise.
I was ordering it. I paid for it. Money left my account. It confirmed my order, and then the very next day, they no, they didn't send me an email yet. I was checking the tracking, and basically nothing had happened. It was like this hasn't moved. It hasn't left anywhere. Nothing has happened. And I went back on the tracking the next day, and it gave me an error message when I tried to look at the tracking. Full customer support. They told me we don't have this in stock.
They told you thanks for the money, we'll see you later.
Basically, yeah, they said thanks for the money, dummy, fuck off.
Go back to your standing slash sitting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were all just up in business telling me, yeah, we just don't have that. No, I've paid for it. I literally paid for the thing. Okay?
Have you got the Switch since though? Because
Yeah.
I've had many thoughts about the Nintendo Switch, and I quite like the portability of it. I think the biggest thing about the newest consoles are from what I know, they're a lot bigger, man.
Giga.
They are huge, apparently.
Massive.
Yeah. The guy who I saw probably isn't watching this right now, but maybe he will do one day. He actually posted on Instagram. He got the PlayStation 5 early, and
Mm.
he got a tape measure out. It's huge. Like I don't know if you can. There's no way of describing it. You've got to see it. You've got to see it in someone's hands. Like the PlayStation 4, it's not like a small console. It's not like the Switch,
But it's
but it's
convenient,
not.
right?
Yeah, it's like a good size, I'd say. You know, it's got the bulk to it and the style that you like, but it's not like a behemoth next to the TV. And I guess the PlayStation 5 is that. It's like the big brother of the PlayStation 4, which kind of makes sense, but at the same time, I don't want to have like a giant server stack as my console, dude. I want something that looks good, that plays that can support the games that I want to play, and I guess just make my entertainment time the best time. And if the new generation's doing that, I think from what I know of what Xbox did with the Xbox One and they seem to be edging more towards an entertainment system. And I think the PlayStation 5 has some good aspects to it. I've seen the home screen that they've changed quite a bit in terms of the interface and how it all works.
I think it
And
looks
even yeah, I think it's definitely more geared towards actual gaming and, hopping back into a specific chapter of a story or a mission or whatever it is. I saw that on the little reveal trailer I think they did for it, and it looks really good. I was really pleasantly surprised by it. I haven't seen anything of it the Xbox, but I guess we'll have to wait and see when they release it, what, a week or so before the PlayStation 5?
yeah, yeah. I think personally, I don't think the PS5 being a week late is gonna affect kind of the race that much. I think it's pretty clear that most people are siding session, um, which I think is interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
what
I think
why?
I think most of it is got to do games. Um, and I think I read the reviews that IGN and a few other places put up of PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, and yeah, they both had good things to say about the other. The Xbox, like super clean interface, really, really fast, really, really powerful. Slightly more storage space on the SSD as well. Um, and the PlayStation 5, the UI, like you said, amazing. The load times, I think they're technically slightly faster than the. I might be wrong though. And apparently the PS5 controller is incredible. I've heard a lot of reviews saying that the haptic feedback, the rumbling technology in it is way way better than the PS4, and apparently that's like a huge deal. Kind of interesting, but what they say in both reviews is that there are essentially no games like for either console coming out. And it's there are a couple for release, but to be honest, if I was going to be like, what are the big launch games for the consoles? The only one I can think of is Demon Souls. Like that's literally
Yeah,
the only thing that comes to mind.
yeah, I mean, I definitely haven't heard of anything. I know, especially PlayStation, because I'm a PlayStation 4 guy, that they have a lot of games that have been released, like, for example, FIFA 21 has it,
Mm.
and I think maybe even, the Shadow of War, I think it's Definitive Edition? I don't know, it's on the PlayStation Plus, pass thing for this month, and I'm pretty sure you can just kind of upgrade and it kind of activate the game on the PlayStation 5 and kind of re-download it on the next gen. So I know they've done that for a few games. They're not technically launch games because they're already out, but I know that they're going to be available on the newest generation when they drop. I can only assume the same can be said for the Xbox One and obviously the new Xboxes dropping. And yeah, I think Demon Souls, it looks amazing. It does. The only thing is that I've not played very many Dark Souls. I think I played Dark Souls 2 for approximately half an hour and then got lost, got killed, pretty standard stuff for Dark Souls really, and then just put it down and played some other games, man.
It's really funny because my Dark Souls 2 experience was similar to yours. When I not because like you, Dark Souls 2 is the first Souls game that I actually played. Um, and I got through a few bosses, was doing absolutely fine. I was quite young at this point, and I hadn't played any games that were actually challenging. It's definitely not any games like this. So I was much existed on for this point, and I got to this boss called the Pursuer, and I just couldn't beat him. I think I died like 20 or 30 times, which is ironic because I've died and beaten bosses with deaths on that one boss since then. But I got so mad at that boss that I literally downloaded a cheat engine and
Of course you did.
I gave myself God mode, and stamina, and I should have. I told myself, yeah, that's it. I'm done. I'm using the cheat engine. But I used the cheat engine to get past the boss. Then I got to another boss that I couldn't beat, like a few more bosses down the line, and I was like, I can't use the cheat engine again. But I also just can't beat this boss, so I
But you've
quit.
already done it, so it's like I don't know. It's like you've already committed the crime. Might as well do
I don't know. I felt so bad.
it to a shop. Goes to steal something from a shop, grabs like the first pack of Starburst they see, and that's it. They normally start going after the cash register, like any jewelry. They take the lot, and I guess it's similar to. Now, you're probably going to giggle when I say this, like Sims, the game. Like when as soon as you type in the cheap mother load, I think it's mother load, when you get like loads and loads of money.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not, you don't do it once, man. You do it like 30 times, so you
yeah,
have
a
like
lot.
30 million in the bank.
I'm
Like once you've abused it, man, you might as well use it. So I don't
really,
know.
I'm really curious though, right? Because like Demon Souls, Dark Souls, that kind of thing. It's like it's a huge thing now. So how did you avoid like the big three, like Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro? How did you manage to not play them, or why?
Well, I guess for me, like that Dark Souls 2 experience, it always stood out. Like it was a game that I thought, yeah, this could be really cool. You get to go around. There's character customization a little bit in terms of what you wear and the weapons you use. Like obviously, it's kind of, I guess, almost like an RPG in that sense that you have obviously
Mm,
those different aspects to it. And I quite like the idea that it was like I enjoy the idea that it's kind of like blind adventure, that
yeah,
you can choose where you go. That's what kind of drew me into it. But then I don't know. I didn't know many people at the time, if anybody, that also played it. I didn't have like friends or fellow gamers that could kind of advise or say, "Oh no, this bit go here. This is a really difficult thing to do." Um, and I don't know. It just kind of it didn't like necessarily put me off. But
yeah.
when I was looking at games, I mean, especially over the past few years, there's been so many new off branches of games and games that have been sticking around for a lot longer as well. So if you think about the games catalog in general for like, the Xbox One, this current generation that we're in now is it's flooded with loads of different games. And I guess the thing for that is like, I've recently picked up a game that I only played first back in 2015, and it's still a fantastic game. Like I put a lot of hours into it now. There's another game I've just downloaded, Shadow of War. Mentioned it before. I got the definitive edition because it comes with all the DLCs
Mm,
and everything like that I haven't played yet. And there's a lot of other games out there that have kind of kept my attention for a long period of time, and there's not really been the need or the like burning desire to go back to like a Dark Souls game that's already been out for a few years because at that point, again, I'm in that same spot of I like the concept, but I don't really know where to go. Like, I don't
yeah.
really know what there is there to kind of claim it. Whereas you look at games like Destiny, I know you're a big gamer of Destiny, and
Oh
I'm assuming
yes,
you're really looking forward to Beyond Light, if not already smashing everything you can.
I am
Um,
beyond times.
yeah, yeah. So it's very much like there was so many other games out there kind of drew my attention. And yeah, I think the new Demon Souls that's coming out, and I guess the main focus of, I guess, launch day for the PlayStation 5 is that game. It's a bit of a legendary game because if you haven't played Dark Souls, you know about it. If you have played it and you don't like it, you're still intrigued. You
Mm,
want to know what is there, but if you play it and you love it, then of course you're excited. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else really to say on that note in terms of if I'm going to get it or not. I'm still not sure.
yeah.
I might pick it up, but whether or not I seriously think about putting more money into a game I might not like compared to the games that I can have crossover or just buy that aren't necessarily launch games, that might be something else.
Yeah, I completely get what you mean. Um, I I personally, absolutely huge fan of those two games. The thing with Dark Souls 2 is actually it's interesting. People often regard Dark Souls 2 as the black sheep of the kind of From Software games. It is a lot kind of slow, I think, at least in terms of the combat, than the other games. Bloodborne was the first game though that really accelerated the speed of the combat. Then Dark Souls 3 kind of started catching up to that, and then Sekiro is just like lightning fast. But all of the games have that kind of, there is no tutorial. You just kind of head out into this world and try and figure out where it is that you need to go and how to do it. Like these bosses that are just unreal difficulty. It's just yeah, in Dark Souls 3 there's this one boss. It's called Midir. Anyone who's played Dark Souls 3 most definitely knows what it's the last, it's kind of like a hidden boss in the last DLC. So really he's kind of like the final boss of the Dark Souls games. And I died to this guy like I think it was 41 or 42 times. And any other game is like you die that many to something, you're like, fuck this. I
Yeah.
am never playing this again. But I don't know. You kind of just keep going, and it goes from the first time you die, where you know nothing. You get killed by the boss after blowing through all your resources and finding some lucky openings, to the last one where you know literally everything about the boss and you kill him
Mm.
so easily. You basically don't use anything.
Yeah,
It's very satisfying.
yeah, I think that's the part of gaming that I love is the kind of learning curve and the kind of the interaction with the game and the environment that you're in and the obviously the control layouts and bindings that you have and obviously the tools at your disposal to kind of overcome the obstacles in the game. And I think there's nothing more similar to what you've just described in the sort of final like hidden boss in Dark Souls is there's currently I played Shadow of War a lot,
Mm,
and I absolutely love the game. You'll know it's got like the Barkham, the
yeah,
Batman sort of Arkham Knight. The Arkham games essentially kind of combat.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
almost
it's
it's
pretty
almost
much the
like a
same.
button masher,
Mm,
and you have like a parry button and a dodge button.
yeah,
That's essentially it. Obviously, you've got different abilities that you can use, but with Shadow of War, they have the Nemesis system, which I'm sure everyone who's into gaming at all will probably have heard of. And it gets to a point I've kind of completed all the main campaign, not the DLCs, and I've gotten to the point where I can roam around Mordor. I can kind of have siege battles against hordes of orcs and
yeah.
use my own army against them, etc. But there's one orc captain who is like 10 levels above me, man. He keeps killing me, and every time he kills me, he like levels up.
Yeah.
And it's like a constant battle. I'm constantly trying to figure out his weaknesses. And I've used intel. I know exactly what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are, but I just can't kill him. And it's the most frustrating thing you've ever seen, man. Like I'll sit there for like 3 hours just fighting this guy. It would like one fight will like the first fight might take me like 10 minutes before I die. The next one I'll be like scouting him out, trying to take down his health little by little for like half an hour, and then someone kills me, and then I'm back to square one. It's super frustrating, but it's just pure determination that
Yeah.
gets me going back at that orc. There's nothing else. Like I could easily just go and murder like a bunch of orcs in another area of the map easily, and that would be probably loads of fun because it's a really fun game. But that one orc, man, that
Trying to
one
get him.
orc, he's going to be in my nightmares tonight. I tell you for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously, Dark Souls probably going to bring me back. I watched the trailer the other day, and it does look really really fun. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and see
have
launch
you
day, see what people think of it, and yeah.
have you watched the trailer for Bloodborne? Like, do you know what Bloodborne is about?
Yeah, it's about blood that's not unborn. It's been born. I- Is
Bloodborne
that
is
right? Like mother blood giving birth.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess technically you're not that far off.
I have no idea. I, I
um,
I I understand what the game is kind of, but I don't know like story or what universe it sits in,
mm,
like that kind of stuff.
completely different universe to Dark Souls. Like some crazy theory people will tell you that it's connected in some bizarre way, but it's a separate world. Like it's not the same. But Bloodborne is easily in top five of all time games. Sekiro is close. Dark Souls 3 is also close. But Bloodborne is so special. I actually I don't have enough words to recommend how unbelievable it is. And I keep playing it. I've played through because do you know what New Game Plus is?
No. What is New Game Plus?
New Game Plus is basically in the Souls games, but loads of other games have started doing it now, where you finish the game and then you can play it again, except the difficulty bumps up, right? So once you go into New Game
Okay.
Plus 1, everything is stronger, but you get more rewards. Go into New Game Plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus. And it caps out at plus 7.
Okay. See, I've heard of games doing that similar kind of thing where you keep your cosmetics,
Yeah.
but you don't keep any of your abilities that you've learned from the previous game. I think Last of Us 2 do it. I don't know if the difficulty scales, but I know you get to keep like y- something. I can't
Yeah.
remember exactly, but you get to keep some things and you basically play through the story fresh.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. You start a fresh copy of the game, except Souls games. You know, in Bloodborne, you'll probably finish the first playthrough of the game around level 80 to 90. In that area, that's pretty generous, even I'd say. And then the next time you finish the game, you'll be like 130. I played through the game about. I think I got to the game plus 22 on one save. My character was level 302. Like I have played through the game times that like I don't know, it kind of has almost lost all meaning for me starting a new game.
Y- You've
Um,
probably
uh.
finished the Bloodborne game as many times as I died in Dark Souls 2. That's how many times you started a new game.
Holy shit.
Yeah, maybe. But I guess the kind of goes into a thing I've been thinking about a lot recently. I mean, obviously we're both at kind of this point in our YouTube channels. I know you've kind of got your niche in terms of
Mm,
what you do over on your channel, but in mine, I've been thinking a lot about niches and what content I really love to create. And
yeah.
one of the things has been obviously what game do you choose? There's a lot of YouTubers out there that will kind of bounce from game to game, make kind of the funny moments and kind of compilation things, and maybe do a couple of different activities in various games. Maybe they'll compare them, do reviews, that kind of thing.
Variety
But
is hard, man. Variety is.
yeah, of course. But it kind of gets me wondering because there's some things you'll notice about even the diverse create content creators out there that do loads of different games. They'll always stick to their almost niche of games, like that kind of genre of games,
Yeah.
right? Like for me, things like Dark Souls, I guess Demon Souls very soon, and obviously things like Bloodburn, Bloodborne, dear Lord, Bloodborne. They all kind of have that little niche of where it's the kind of aimless adventure, and well, not aimless adventure, but kind
Yeah.
of guideless adventure, we'll say. And I don't know if it's maybe that personally in my gaming experience or a gaming journey that I've been on, I haven't really been exposed to that kind of niche of games. I don't know if there's
Yeah.
certain games that you will enjoy more than me because you're more used to that sort of genre. Kind of like films, right? You kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
some people really enjoy horror films, whereas some people hate them. And yeah, I guess maybe that's kind of a thing. I don't know. It's certainly interesting. I think at the minute I've been enjoying a lot more of the kind of super replayable games. I guess Rocket League being a big one that the game mode that you're playing is exactly the same. It's basically FIFA, but for some crazy reason, you just play it over and over and over and over again because you want to hit that next level of your season pass or whatever it is. I guess the same can be said, well, similar thing can be said for Destiny and the kind of
Mm,
PvP area. And I guess even the PvE areas of some games, they can be repetitive, but people still kind of go back for them because that's almost the niche they enjoy. That's something that I kind of, yeah, it's been really interesting lately to witness that kind of stuff. Um, and
yeah,
I guess
no,
just see where it's going.
it is really interesting. I think for me, it's and this has always been really interesting actually. um, the difference between something like Bloodborne, where you can face an incredible amount of challenge, but you can still kind of relax, versus something where you're playing against other people. I don't know what it is. I think I'm too competitive. Good, but I think my niche is 100% PvE stuff. Um, I can enjoy some PvP stuff. Playing against other people can be fun, but I find it stressful just because it's how inherently competitive I can get over it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
Rocket League drags that out of me. I've never been. I mean, during my sort of teenage years where I grew up, the internet was safe to say less than fast. It was not regular speed in the slightest. To the point where we couldn't really play any kind of PvP. Like we had Call of Duty games, we would focus on the zombies because we had, me and my brother, we literally we had two controllers. We could just sit there, split screen, just smash it, right? And that made me really enjoy zombie games. And obviously, games like FIFA, you can play offline. You can do your own little like career mode. You can create your own player, all that kind of stuff. That kind of kept me hooked and kept me into PVE. And I guess now I've been experiencing things like Rocket League in the PvP kind of area, like playing ranked matches. And dude, I sweat. Like
Yeah.
not like from the forehead sweat, but like when your body just heats up. I don't know how to describe it. Some gamers out there might know what I'm talking about, but it literally I will finish a game and feel like I've run around the pitch. Like it's crazy.
Gets me
And
going.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you can move from if you play ranked, you can play sweaty and you can try and win, which is obviously what I do because I'm super competitive. But then you drop into casual, completely different game, completely. And I guess that's the massive difference between like PvE and PvP. It's like PvP, there's almost that pressure to do your best, which is great. I mean, maybe if you're on about relaxing and maybe you've done a lot of PvP in your gaming kind of career and your gaming kind of journey, is that maybe you'll find it relaxing. I don't know. That's kind of personal stuff, I guess. But PvE, I think, is probably the most relaxing gaming experience you can have outside of something like VR chat or something like that. When you're just sort of sitting on a beach in Minecraft. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, no, I agree. I think in PvP, it's like, oh, for me at least, my mentality going into it is this: you are playing against someone else. If they beat you, they are better than, and you don't have a fucking choice about how that comes about. But if you lose, then you have lost and you are worse at the game. Whereas in
yeah.
PvE, I can decide anytime I want, okay, I actually want to try and get something done. And if I want to, I can have a go at this now. I can fail, that's okay, and I can come back to it later. When you play a match against someone else, right, you have 10, 15 minutes to beat someone, and then you're never going to see them again. And that person can just walk away thinking they're the better player, and I don't know, that gets under my skin. That probably says a lot about my mentality as as a person.
Maybe, maybe. I don't know if there's any psychologists listening in, but they might have something to say in the comments. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely agree. It's like there's something big as well when it's actually another person. Obviously, when you're playing PvE, there's no one there being like, "Oh, you're trash," or you know what I mean? Like that kind of toxicity that only the gaming community has. And I think when you're playing like Rocket League, man, there's on the PC, obviously you can. I mean, on the consoles as well, you can type in the chat
Yeah,
and you can type, but obviously it's a lot harder on console.
yeah.
So they have like quick chat for the consoles,
Christ.
and they have things like nice shot, what a save, no, OMG, right? They have all this kind of stuff, like great pass, and it's hilarious. Like you'll be playing, you'll be playing ranked, and maybe the keeper on either your team or the opposite team. It doesn't matter who. If you miss the ball when someone takes a shot, like there's a good chance someone spams what a save,
Yep,
even though you didn't touch the ball.
yep.
You were nowhere near it. And yeah, it's toxic, man. It can really get under your skin, and it's weird. I mean, I bet it actually changes people's days. You know, I think that there's definitely some people out there that are a lot more kind of susceptible to certain kind of bits of toxicity or saltiness that will actually make them feel like they are bad at what they do, or make them feel bad as a person because of, I guess, they would also care about it, and they think, oh, because that person says this, then that must be true. I don't know if that's the actual psychology behind it. Maybe it's just some kind of affirmation
Yeah.
thing. Maybe if you're just really bad at the game and everyone's always like, "What a save!" You'd be like, "Oh, bad. I'm really bad." Um, or maybe I don't know.
I've
It's
been
weird, man.
I've been playing a lot of League recently, and I mean, for one thing, this game 100% deserves its reputation as the most toxic game out there. I actually have never played something s- so filled with toxic people, and at the same time, it is so infuriating. Um, and it's weird. To be honest, I actually fucking uninstalled it last night because I was flaming pissed, and I just decided I'd put myself through the shit anymore. Um, and it's some days me and my friends are playing, and like we pretty much all like we quite rarely play it by ourselves. But some days, where you have we had this is one day maybe 3 4 days ago, and we had like 5 6 7 like all games in a row, like all of us fucking inting one after the other. We're losing every single match. Like the other team is cussing us. Our our own teammates are seemingly brain dead, and we come off the game and it's like these are the kind of days where you just don't ever play the game again. And
Yeah.
then as soon as you get like a good moment, have a good match, it's like you don't even remember king 6 or 7 dog shit matches that you had where they just made you feel like, I don't know, it kind of makes you feel like pointless. Like I've sat here for 4 hours, I've played all these matches, and basically nothing has come of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It actually something similar kind of happened to me a week or 2 weeks maybe ago, week and a half in Rocket League. I was playing some ranked, and obviously in like every ranked
Yeah.
match, I guess, obviously you're with people the same rank, which makes a lot of sense. In Rocket League, I used to be platinum 1, I
Oh,
think,
nice.
just inside platinum, yeah. But you got to understand, there's in Rocket League, I want to try and do this from memory, but if anybody plays Rocket League, correct me in the comments. But there, you start off. There's you know you obviously you play your placement matches, and then you get put in one of the following ranks. So from lowest to highest, I'm going to try and get these right. And obviously, each rank gets broken down as like rank tier 1, 2, 3, 3 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. So you'd go from, the lowest being bronze. Obviously, bronze 1's the lowest. Then you have bronze 2, bronze 3. Then you have silver. Then you have gold. Then you have platinum. Then you have diamond. Then you have champion. Obviously, you have things like champ 1, champ 2, champ 3.
Yeah.
As you do have like diamond, obviously, or 1, 2, 3. And then after the champ, you have grand champ. And then you have supersonic legend. I think. I think that's all of them. And yeah, I was sitting in platinum. I was playing
Pretty
ranked
good.
matches. Wasn't having the best day, and someone typed in the chat, "What are you doing in ranked?" And that, right? I mean, first of all, hilarious because I was playing absolute nonsense at the time. But yeah, fair to say, I literally remembered those words for like a week solid. Didn't really play that much ranked. Always went into casual first before I played ranked to make
Yeah.
sure I was warmed up a bit because man, it might not be it might not have actually been aimed at me. I have no idea. It was a 3v3 and he didn't say like you can't
Yeah.
mention somebody. It might not have been me, but I was just having a particularly bad performance day. That guy said one thing and it kind of yeah, it stuck in my memory, dude.
I don't know. I think there's a difference. It's like I think there's a big difference between like some ribbing about someone is doing bad. Someone does bad. Then they tilt. Then they start to do worse. Then people start flaming them even more. Even worse. Like that happens. That's just your mental goes boom. Like that's a thing. What I had last night. This was when I uninstalled League. Was I was playing ranked. I was by myself, and I had this guy on my team, the jungler, and this guy was. I mean, he was literally inting. Like, do you know what inting means?
No,
It
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 sounds like some sort of gangster slang.
it means intentional. It means you are intentionally feeding. It means you are
Oh,
intentionally
okay, yeah, yeah.
dying.
Yeah, I know feeding, yeah.
He was hardcore, just inting, like making decisions that you would have to be. I mean, you have to be iron to think like these decisions are like okay. So I assume that he's inting, and this guy types in the chat like, "I'm so high, let's just surrender," and it it
Why?
it blew my mind that someone would get so high that they can barely function, and then decide to play a competitive mode. Like,
Maybe he just clicked on the wrong game mode, dude.
I don't know, dude. You got to be pretty specific about what you're playing, and then you have to sit in queue for like 5 minutes to get into a game.
I mean, hey, 5 minutes goes past when you're absolutely like cogged, mate. When your mind is that clouded, you can't even tell time. It's
That's
just time is not time
probably
anymore.
true, true. But anyway, like it stressed me out, man. I was just so confused as to why. 'Cause to me, it's like when you start a game, entering into like a contract with your teammates.
Oh yeah,
Everyone needs
absolutely.
to do their best, and if you're not doing that, then you shouldn't be. One thing I am looking forward to get away from this PvP stuff. Destiny 2 is coming out on Tuesday with Beyond Light, and then the first PS5 game that I am gonna get, Godfall. Have you
I
even heard of it?
I know you've mentioned
Mm.
Godfall, but I don't know anything about it. All I'm thinking of is like every time maybe because it has the word God in it, maybe because fall sounds a little bit like war. But I just kept thinking of God of War. That is literally the only thing. Keep getting the picture of the bald guy in my head. As you can tell, I've not played the games.
Neither have I actually. I know a lot about God of War just from kind of reading about it and seeing it, but I have never actually played it.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, it's always been an interesting game series for me, but I feel like when games get to a certain point, and I'm assuming Godfall is like the first installment in like a new franchise, maybe, or like a new IP. I don't know.
I don't think so. But here, let me I'm gonna drop the trailer in your have a little watch. Only a
I will.
minute. Um, it's a game where it's super straightforward. It's PvE. You go through levels. You use a intricate combat system, smash the shit out of enemies. It's very kind of Dark Soulsy. Like third person combat, like lots of different weapons. Each of the weapons has like a really distinct feel and combo style to them, and then
Mm,
you can equip different pieces of armor and the loot and the way the game looks. To me, the aesthetic of the game is such a big deal for me, and
absolutely.
the way the armor is designed and the weapons in the world, it's staggeringly beautiful. So I'm
It
really excited just to go smash the shit out of some fucking AI and just kind of get some cool.
it yeah, it looks fantastic. I'm watching the trailer now. And do you know what it kind of makes me think of?
What?
It looks like kind of a mix between something like Dauntless and something like For Honor.
Yes, yeah. I was literally thinking. You probably won't
But
have
it,
seen it, but the menu reminds me of For Honor so much. I was thinking like this is literally like sci-fi For Honor.
yeah, I mean, it looks like it almost has some of the color hues and the saturation of like Destiny.
Warframe. Warframe. That's what it means. Color, like the color system.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I was just thinking, the different subclasses, how each subclass
Mm,
is very distinct. That's what it makes me think of. Like you see the kind of the blues and the purples in there. It
yeah,
looks like someone's just activated their super. That's what it makes me think of. But that
yeah.
game
No,
that game does look fantastic.
it looks awesome, man. There's there was I don't know, like the launch trailer that I shared, it's got like 500,000 views, but I feel like more people should be excited about a game that looks this good, in my opinion. So it's weird to me that there's basically like the subreddit, for example. I think it only has like I think like 25,000 people in it, and subreddits aren't the fastest thing to get filled up. But it's one of the only games that I'm actually excited about playing on PS5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, that says November 12th for release, but obviously that must be North America,
Yeah.
at the very least, really. But it'd be interesting to know if they actually, I guess, with a game like that, maybe it's PS5 only and next gen only. But I'd be really surprised if they had a launch game that wasn't compatible with kind of current gen. I know they did that a lot for when the current gen was going to be the next gen. So when the PlayStation 4 was just about to be released, they had the kind of games that were more dedicated towards the next gen and could be played on next gen, but they were also being released on the current gen as well. I don't know if that's going to be something they do this time, but it'd be pretty cool if they did because I guess it would just make it a lot better to have the PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox sort of activation. So when you buy that
Mm,
console, you can just upgrade. And I think is it Activision? Um,
yeah.
is it the Call of Duty Cold War?
Yeah.
I think you can buy it on the current gen, but with that game, I don't know why. It's the only game I know that you have to pay still to get it
Dark
on
Ridge.
PlayStation 5, even though you've already bought the damn game. Ah,
Activision. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, yeah, I know, but still, I mean, there's plenty of other games out there where you can purchase them on the current gen and then move them up. So it'd be interesting to know if Godfall's available on the PlayStation 4.
I
Maybe
I don't actually think it is. I
that's really
th-
sad.
I think that, and that's I get what you mean. It is sad because I would fucking love to play
But
this on 12th, but it's really exciting because it's built purely for the PS5.
yes, absolutely, that's something as well. Like it's a pro and a con at the same time
Mm,
because yes, we can't play it straight away. We can't play it on launch day when North America can just put it into their PlayStation 5 and off they go. I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, we have to wait a week
I
until we
know.
even get the PlayStation 5. But, it like I get really excited about the next gen because every step that has been made in technology and even I guess in the processes that game developers go through year on year, month on month, however quickly they develop, which is insane. Um, it's always really exciting to be able to see the new boundary or the new opportunity that is presented with a new piece of hardware. And I guess, especially when a game has been designed for that kind of console or for that generation of tech, it's always like the first look, kind of like a 4K TV compared to, HD ready
Yeah,
TVs, for example.
exactly.
Like it's like going into the I don't know PC world or wherever you buy your TVs from, and just looking at all the big fancy TVs that are in there, and they're playing their bloody demo. Here, look at this random film that we put on from Netflix, and just see all the colors. Like it's that kind of thing that I think is not. I don't know if it's wearing off because of the constant jumps in tech,
Yeah.
but I remember that vividly from picking up a new game compared to like I don't know, like Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, for example.
Yeah.
The very first game I ever bought myself.
Oh.
I think it was £30 at the time, believe it or not.
Oh,
29.99,
what a
brand new.
price. What a price.
I know, inflation and all that top quality currency nonsense. But yeah, old games, man. Yeah, you gotta love them. The classics, I guess. And I guess it would have been nice if they could just make all consoles except previous iterations or previous games. Like they could just add on the top with new tech and new games, but you can still have access to all the old good ones.
I mean, yeah. Like in an ideal world, at least in my ideal world, console exclusivity and like I don't know what to call it, generationism just disappears immediately, basically.
Generate generationism. What does that even mean?
So like any kind of barrier that stops you
Yeah.
from, playing an original Xbox game on your Xbox Series X,
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's kind of sad, but I guess maybe that's where the PC master race comes into play. Like if you have that available on your computer, your desktop, your laptop, whatever it might be, and you can play that, then incredible. That's one reason why I'm starting to get back into Steam, why I'm starting to get back onto the computer more in general, to be honest, because there's you can always just dig something out from the past, which I don't know, it's just going to run 100 times better on the PC that you have now because it took an absolute machine to run it 10 years ago, but now any sort of casual laptop can probably run a hardcore game from back in the day, which is fantastic. It's just sad that you can't, just download any game you want onto your console because it's a console game. But I guess
Yeah.
one example that I was thinking of earlier was, I mean, obviously we have the current Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2, but the old ones, I still think, I mean, I really like what they've done with the newest iterations of the franchise, but there's just something about the old ones. Maybe it's the graphics or the characteristics, or maybe just a mix of things in general. Maybe it's just nostalgia, but I miss those games. And I guess even going back further to the Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, I was thinking, well, if I was going to go back to my parents at Christmas for a nice little Christmas post lockdown, I would think about getting the PlayStation 2 out of the loft, plugging in Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, and recording it because that game's really fun, and I would love to record a video on there, just like back in the old days. But even then, I don't have a capture card that will work with the PlayStation 2 because the outputs are completely out of date.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's the price that we pay for the convenience of these consoles, basically.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about PCs. You can emulate stuff. There's this one game I used to play when I was a kid. It's a video game with The Hobbit. Actually, it's a GameCube game that was
Wow.
ported to PC. Like, it's the most unbelievably niche game. Like, I've never met anyone else who's heard of it, to be honest. But it was like I played it on my PC. Like, I think it was a couple of years ago, and it was one of the most nostalgic, most amazing things to just pick that up and play it again. Like,
Yeah.
it was unreal. And then you have things like Crisis. Have you ever played Crisis?
I've heard of Crisis, never played it.
100% recommend that. The original Crisis, when it released, was literally the ultimate. Can your computer run Crisis? You must have heard those memes.
I haven't, unfortunately, but I can imagine.
It's literally like, if your computer can run Crisis, your computer is godlike. And if it can run it at max settings, then it's like it's a NASA computer. It was that type of
Wow.
deal. Yeah, it was almost like deliberately demanding in a way. Like, it was so incredibly, but it's like you watch gameplay of it now and it still looks unbelievable even today. Um yeah, I don't know. It just released a remastered version of it actually, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, like I think it's a shame. There's lots of games that I would love to play. Like, I would kill to have Halo, any of the old Halos actually, on my PS4, playing through the Master Chief Collection.
Well, you're never gonna get Halo on your PlayStation.
I wish so, you know?
Yeah, but maybe if you want that, you should have a look at the Xbox. That's the sad thing about exclusive games, man.
Yeah.
That's what's truly sad is that half of the population of gamers are missing out on a game that could be truly incredible. It could be like a generation defining game, but only half the people have access to it because you've signed a contract for that console only. I don't know why you would do that, but I
That's it.
guess that's the reason.
That's it, unfortunately. Did you see? Wow, my Alexa just popped off. um, did you see? Wait, have I played Warframe with you? Have we played Warframe?
I don't think we have.
It's interesting. Have you ever played it?
I think I played it a tiny bit. I think my brother recommended it to me. I did the classic thing where you download it, play it for like half an hour, don't really get far,
Yeah,
and just kind of lose interest because there's other games that are in your mind at that time.
yeah, yeah. No, it's a bit of an overwhelming game, but there is. I don't think realistically there is any game that is free that has as much content as Warframe, and is that content is so easily accessible. The reality is it can be really overwhelming because the game is fucking gigantic. There is an absolutely insane amount of stuff to do. But they
What
released
could,
the next gen trailer for the PS5. So,
but could you not kind of, I guess now with Destiny 2 being free to play,
mm,
could you not kind of claim that that is maybe not a contender, but could that rival the amount of content in Warframe? Or is Warframe just absolutely like Anakin Skywalker's midichlorian count? Is it off the charts?
well, Warframe has a couple of things that really helps. Me personally, I think the amount of content in Destiny 2 is like absolutely insane, and the amount that you can get for free to
Sponsored
play
by
is also ridiculous. Shout out to Bungie, really amazing game. Love you
Shout out to
guys.
Peter Dinklage, Nolan North.
The original actors. Okay, we're going off topic. We're going off topic.
Yeah, yeah,
Warframe has a couple of advantages. It has a trading system, so as in
nice.
it has channels where you can trade items with other players for the premium currency in the game. That's one of the best things about Warframe, and it's something I have desperately wished for in other games. I'm pretty sure World of Warcraft has stuff like this, but it's not as accessible. In Warframe, you can get as much of the premium currency, the stuff that you literally buy with money, get that stuff for free. You just grind. You grind, you
Yeah.
get stuff that's hard to get, you sell it to other people. It's like you can get so it's like I can't remember what the like exchange rate is, lol. Um yeah, I think it's like 150 platinum for like 4 quid or something like that. But
Wow,
you
they use British currency. That's amazing.
um,
Can you make a full-time wage off grinding Warframe? Like, could you trade it
I
and
don't
withdraw your cash to
you
PayPal?
probably could. You could probably sell the accounts once you had enough clout on them. I'm sure people would do that, to be honest.
Maybe. I don't
But
know.
you can earn like 500 platinum of selling one item. You can earn 1,000 platinum of selling one. You can literally earn like quid's worth of currency just by selling stuff. So it's a really cool game.
Yeah. No, it definitely sounds cool, and I guess that's the reason why I tried it in the first place. But I guess it comes down to the biggest thing in gaming, which is the community, right? Like, if you have a
Oh,
good community of people and there's a good population in the game, and I guess friends that you know that are playing it, or maybe even just a content creator that you know that's playing that game, and you enjoy watching them and you kind of interact
yeah,
with them by playing the game yourself and obviously watching their videos, whatever it is, then I think you're going to enjoy the game a lot more. I think imagine if you were just dropped into Warframe or dropped into, I don't know, another big game. Like, I guess Destiny, maybe, but Destiny is probably more easily kind of
yeah,
eaten up by gamers
yeah.
because you have more story and stuff like that. Maybe. I don't know.
Plus, it's
But
an
I don't know.
FPS.
Yeah, something like imagine like World of Warcraft, but you're the only player.
Yeah,
You know,
that would be kind of terrible. Honestly,
Warframe, but
I've tried picking up World of Warcraft twice, but it's so overwhelming. It's really hard to get in, I think.
yeah. But I think that's you can say that about so many games now when they've been out for a few years.
Yeah,
So I guess like Warframe, it probably didn't start off super overwhelming. It just had more stuff added to it over the years. And obviously the fan base that were there from the start, they obviously thrived because they've been there, sort of done that, got the t-shirt and carried on getting more t-shirts until they can't fit any more in their inventory. But when you have someone like me who's joining into, you know, maybe things like Dauntless, maybe not
yeah,
so much Dauntless, but you got Warframe, you got World of Warcraft, all these kind of, I guess, free to play kind of MMO games, even if they're not truly
yeah.
like super open world. Um, it can always be a bit overwhelming. Like I played Destiny 2 as soon as it came out. I had, the expansions for the first
Yeah.
couple of expansions they did, and then I dropped it for probably a year, maybe a year and a half, and then I'm completely out of the loop now. I don't know what's going on anymore
But
because the
yeah,
game's moved on.
we haven't played since like the start. We haven't played like Destiny 2, like apart from we did a brief dungeon, but we haven't played like any regularity for like a year, right?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, yeah. That's fair enough. To be honest, I always do this before a big expansion anyway. I basically just stop playing for like 3 months ish. I basically
Mm,
just turn myself off from the game so that when I come back, it feels super fresh. For a big expansion, kind of had a little session today. I'm starting to feel the itch again. I'm ready. Very exciting time, video games. Very
yeah.
exciting.
No, I think that's something we all agree on. I guess November's normally the month when everyone's super excited.
Yeah,
I mean, especially, you got, like we were saying before, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you've got Christmas, kind of a bit of the break if you're, at university, college, if you're at, you know, in high school, primary school, whatever it is. Maybe you're playing Minecraft because you're at nursery. I don't know. Um, any kind of generation, or everyone has like that kind of break over the new year. And I think it's always such a big time for gaming because that's when activity numbers are going to be rising. More people have time off. People are getting new stuff.
yeah.
I guess, especially this year with the next gen, it's going to be bigger than ever, as always. I mean, the majority of the planet is probably staying inside now.
Oh
And
yeah,
what does that mean? Netflix is making big bucks. Disney Plus making big bucks. Think about all those free to play games that are charging. I don't know, 4 quid for like 1,000 currency. Dude, that's a lot of money.
I
Like,
spent a lot of money.
I,
Too much.
I've dabbled, not too much. Um, but yeah, I think it's very exciting for gaming, all the new tech. I'm personally thinking of getting into VR myself, but it's just
Oh,
it's more money to explore something that I haven't yet explored. And I think that maybe ties in a little bit back into things like Godfall, Demon Souls, and I guess even into like Warframe, because they're all kind of areas that they're kind of familiar, but
yeah,
I haven't ventured there yet. And unless you've got somebody there who you know and kind of trust to kind of walk you through it, whether that be a friend, whether that be maybe a brother, maybe a content creator, it's it can be a strange time.
it's hard.
Um, but yeah,
Hard. Definitely is. But we can do some bubble, do some do
yeah,
some. But we're doing some Dauntless tomorrow,
yes,
as it is.
yeah, indeed. No, big fan of Dauntless, all that stuff. Um,
I've been grinding the fuck out of that since we played last weekend. Actually,
I haven't. I've been more into the kind of Rocket League. I know it's kind of repetitive, really.
uh,
I mean, it's just car football essentially, but it's fun and there's a big learning curve. Obviously you've got regular football learning stuff like just hitting the ball with the car, obviously just driving around. And I guess on top of that, it's really hard to dribble in car football because it's not like you have a player who's just automatically kicking the ball along for you. It's essentially like a really physics-based game. And added to that, you have the walls and the ceiling, and you can do things like ceiling shots. You can dribble in the air if you're good enough. There's actually a place on the car which will give you another flip in the air. Essentially, you can jump and do like a flip, but if you flip once, you can't redo it in the air. So there's a place that they built into on every car. It's basically the bottom underneath all four wheels. If you
yeah,
hit the ball on all four of those wheels, it kind of registers that you've landed on something and you can essentially resets your flip. So you can then
Jesus.
flip again to hit the ball hard. So you can be in the air. It's massive skill game, massive, and it's so much fun. And I guess that's the big thing about all free to play games. And I guess games in general, they have to be fun, man.
Yeah,
You know, if a game's free, it doesn't mean it's bad. Yeah, I don't think I've played very many free to play games that I've been actually disappointed in. I mean, there's just trying to think through my brain. I played most of the ones that are on PlayStation 4. The only one that's difficult to play by myself is Planet Side 2.
oh man, that game was. I played it like maybe twice. Kind of cool game though.
Yeah, it's a really cool game, but you've got to play it with like a few other people.
Mm,
Like if there was a couple of you running around, guns blazing, whatever it is, then it could be really fun. If it's just you, it can be a little bit hard to play. But
yeah,
I guess that comes down to your own character and your own niche. Again, it's we keep looping everything back into one, which is fantastic.
that is exactly right. I've known my niche for a really long time. It's PVE games that have rewarding loot systems. That's my niche.
Yeah, I think I really like any game that lets me kind of level up, lets me improve not only my skill but my character. If I
Yes,
can customize that character, fantastic.
exactly.
If I can carry around a sword, pretend to be a little bit like Jon Snow, Aragorn, anybody like that, amazing.
Even
If
better.
I can choose like a battle hardened like shoot a guy, I'm down. I mean, customization is the biggest thing for me because I want to flex and
Yeah,
have the coolest looking character or have the best gear.
exactly.
If it's something like Rocket League or something where there's maybe less customization, but it's more about your actual gameplay.
Yeah, how good you are.
Yeah, that makes me want to play because I want to be the best. Like I'm competitive. But equally, if there's a PvE area that's actually good, I'm probably more likely going to be in there than having really competitive,
Yeah.
toxic voice arguments with some random guy from, you know, 2 countries away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. It's just I don't know. It feels good to play a PvE game, and you can never really come out of it being like I have never come out of a PvE session feeling like fuck that cunt and fuck this game.
No, the only times that has actually happened has been in PvP.
Yep.
And I think I don't know if it's skill gap related. I don't know if it's going back to that kind of toxic nature of people, but there's just something about maybe it's just competitiveness. And if you don't win, you're like the grumpy kid who's like, I should have won. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Maybe it's a bit of that, like just raw competitiveness. I don't know if many people have ever played PvP and just been constantly happy. Maybe there's just people that are just happy to play the game.
I
I don't know.
think I don't know, especially with League, right? Because there are a lot of streamers for League, and a lot of these streamers they play like a lot of like it's literally all they do. And I have never understood how they can kind of keep it going for so long. But a lot of the time I just realize they like I don't know, I think it bothers certain people less. Like me for example, that thing I had last night, where the guy was in ranks but he was so high that he could like barely like he didn't have thumbs basically. And
Didn't have thumbs.
yeah, like I don't think he was capable of clicking anything, dude.
Wait, you click with your thumb?
No, but it's like, you use your thumb to support the rest of your hand, right? So if you don't have thumb,
It's a very roundabout way of saying that you
I don't
can't.
know, dude. It's like it sounds more satisfying when you say, he doesn't have thumbs, or instead of saying he doesn't have fingers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no,
that just sounds weird.
th thumbs is definitely a better way to go. Um, not that it matters though, really. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the new consoles and everything that's coming out. I definitely think we're gonna have to hit up Demon Souls for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely on Godfall, like
Yes.
100%. I'm just gonna wait for Black Friday, see what deals are coming about, and I'll be honest, I'm gonna have to get a new TV so I can fully appreciate
Oh,
the
really?
yeah, so I can fully appreciate the quality that the new consoles are gonna be bringing because I mean I've seen the Demon Souls trailer. Obviously, as everyone watching will have seen that the Godfall trailer looks amazing as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just a matter of time, really, before the new console drops and actually releases in Europe and the rest of the world. And yeah, you'll probably find me playing Dauntless, Rocket League, or some free to play game where I'm not going to rage at someone being high
I will be playing Dauntless, eagerly waiting PS5. I will be
and Beyond Light.
exactly as I was just about to say. I will be streaming Beyond Light
Ooh,
on
when are you?
the entire day. Um, from launch, so that's going to be, as far as I know, 6 p.m. UK time on Tuesday the 10th, three
Oh,
days
so
from
that
now,
so Tuesday the 10th, 6 p.m. On YouTube, or are you streaming on Twitch?
on YouTube. On
Nice.
YouTube. So it's going to be on the channel. I will be streaming, and I will probably be streaming for like at least 12 hours or until I pass out. So come
Maybe that'll
watch.
happen at 12 hours exactly. Who knows?
It might do, but to be honest, it's actually one final story is there's this website you can go on and it shows you your playtime on Destiny,
Yeah.
and it has like a square for chunks of periods of time, and the darker the square, the more time you spent on the game without logging off. And there is this one chunk. The rest of the chart is like, it's green, some orange, a couple of red spots, and then there is this one chunk that is just pitch black. When I played the game for almost 72 hours straight.
Holy gee. That's crazy.
It was my gap year. Don't judge me.
Oh my god, yeah. Jeez, man. That's crazy.
But
So I guess
yeah,
if anyone who's listening to the podcast on Arcologic, obviously you just stick around on the channel on the 10th, was it? At 6 p.m.?
10th, 6 p.m. And the same goes for Rideau Brown, obviously.
Sounded like you
Mate,
were reading my name from the channel there. Like, what does it say? It's like Budo Brown.
Rideau Brown. I don't know, dude. Like, I'm just
Yeah,
this guy, James, just go fucking sub to his channel
yeah.
and
If
watch the games. And
I'll leave up a little link in the description to
yeah,
Arcologic channel, so you can definitely hit that stream as soon as it drops at 6 p.m. UK time on the 10th. If you want to, while you're there as well, if you don't know his channel, hit that sub button. Obviously, he'll have some sort of Destiny 2 content if that's what you're into. He'll have his side of the Dauntless gameplay potentially. We'll see.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, check out his stuff. He's done things like Assassin's Creed. I'm over here just making random ass content. Got reactions, got gameplay, and obviously the podcast as well, which is absolutely banging.
I'm into the podcast right now. Big into it.
Big
I
into the contest game.
I think we're good.
Yeah, we
Call
good.
it.
Let's call it.
Call it.
Hello, podcast.
I haven't even
Hello.
stopped recording, but we can call it
Yeah, me neither. Well, after we can cut this out.
that. Yeah, exactly.
I'm definitely gonna leave all this in so people who are still watching are still listening to us discussing about cutting it out.
Yeah, if you're still listening, drop a NO comments. Just
Yeah.
NOU.
No, you stop recording.
No, you, no, you stop recording.
No, you stop recording.
No, you stop recording.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.